Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Because Why? This time, After Dark. To jump right into it, Catherine answering your question, which was actually questions. Favorite album, what is my favorite book, and what is my favorite piece of art? I'm actually going to give you two of each because I'm a Libra and making choices is hard. Let's just rally off the list of everybody up front. My two favorite albums are Everything in Transit by Jack's Mannequin, Back to Black by Amy Winehouse. My two favorite books are The Magicians by Lev Grossman, as well as Family Man by Calvin Trillin, and my two favorite pieces of art both happen to be by Frida Kahlo, one of which is The Two Fridas, and the other is Self-Portrait with Necklace of Thorns. The album Everything in Transit was pretty much the soundtrack to my entire high school experience. I love the fact that it was emotional and sometimes gritty, but sidestepped away from its predecessor Something Corporate with the extreme emotion and kind of let itself explore a bunch of different genres. I love that its feet were still in pop punk and punk rock, but it didn't, keep itself there and pulled things from the Beach Boys and from folk rock. I would argue without this album and this band, we wouldn't have seen success for bands like Mumford & Sons or the Lumineers, anyone who's riding the piano and acoustic guitar and banjo and harmonica train. And speaking of paving the way, let's talk about Back to Black by Amy Winehouse. Without Back to Black by Amy Winehouse, we wouldn't have Adele, we wouldn't have Duffy, and we wouldn't have my girl, Jen Wigmore. Back to Black is an album Winehouse wrote about the ups and downs of dating like incarcerated Sybil Fielder, and boy did it speak to my soul when it came out. Amy Winehouse pours out over goosebump-inducingly great vocals, all of the raw emotion of being dumped and being the other woman and feeling like love is literally a losing game. That punch of honesty, of just rawness, is something that resonates with me to this day. So now we're moving on to books, and my two choices for that are The Magicians Trilogy by Lev Grossman, as well as Family Man by Calvin Trillin. So The Magicians answers the question of what would magic school look like in the United States, and what would happen if those students happened to find Narnia. So this book almost Catcher in the Rye me. I was reading it in college, and it's about college people, so I almost totally missed kind of the deeper message of the whole trilogy. Hey, everyone is a mess from ages 18 to 22, but that's okay. Plus the dialogue is really funnily written because it does not worry about whether or not it's okay to swear, so that makes it funny. So my second choice of book, Family Man by Calvin Trillin, for those of you who don't have parents who are part of AARP, has been a staff writer at The New Yorker since the 60s. Has written mostly about food, but also he writes about everything. And so this book is him kind of looking back on who he was as a parent. It's very funny. Plus this book showed me what the ideal marriage should look like, because everybody should aspire to love their spouse the way that Calvin loved Alice. Also, this book may or may not be the reason that I'm naming my firstborn child after Calvin Trillin, so I'm just saying it's pretty freaking good. So lastly, but certainly not leastly, I've got my two favorite paintings, both of which are by Frida Kahlo, the first being Self-Portrait with Necklace of Thorns, and the other is The Two Fridas. Frida Kahlo is eternally my feminist idol because she has some of the best and most badass quotes, and also she basically threw up double middle fingers at death throughout all of her life. These paintings are my favorite because of their dichotomy of portraying the same feeling. Kahlo painted two Fridas after her divorce from Diego Rivera, and it shows how she literally feels like her heart is duly exposed and dying, yet still beating for Diego. On the other hand, Self-Portrait with Necklace of Thorns is striking, but everything is a lot more symbolic. Everything is kind of more subtle. This painting also was made after her divorce from Diego, and the thorns, actual digging into her skin, is the pain she feels from her divorce. The dead hummingbird goes back to a Mexican folklore tradition that a dead hummingbird being worn as a charm would bring in new love and success in love, which then is followed up by the black cat sitting on her shoulder, which is poised to eat the bird. And black cats, of course, are known for being bad luck. And to top it all off, it's got the famous monkey, which was a gift from Diego, but also is a symbol of evil. Oh my god, this woman is just so amazing. I can't take it. So as far as themes that these all share, I'm a pretty emotional person, which everybody pretty much knows, and all these things are very deeply tied in emotion. I would also maybe say that going through tough stuff and continuing on is another big theme. I think seeing and hearing how these artists interpret their own grief and happiness and sadness and whatnot really resonates with me, I guess. That kind of deep.
Oh yeah, so deep.
Now that we've gone into my soul. Now I have a question for you, Catherine. When did the idea of taking a midday siesta begin? And why don't we have this? Until next time,